Welcome to the Market Sip. My name is Patrick Donovan from eXp Realty, part of the Johnson Group, and I'm joined by my boy Brandon Gabler from Next Move Realty. And really quick, before we get started, I just want to let you guys know if you're looking to buy or sell or know somebody looking to buy or sell, you see these little QR codes up in the corners there? His is to his right. His is that one. Mine is this one. If you are looking to buy or sell a home, you don't know the next step, you're confused, you're like, I don't know what to do. I want to buy my home. I want to buy a home. Give us a call. You hit us right there. If you need to talk to a lender, hit us up. And of course, if you are on this show is made for the people connecting to the decision makers. So thank you guys so much for coming on, and reach out if you need us to buy a home.
Yeah. Or even just some education about it. It's good to have some knowledge. But if you live in Port Wentworth, then this show is for you. We're excited to bring on the mayor of Port Wentworth, Tracy Saunders, a returning guest. Thanks for coming, So please stay tuned and get your questions ready for Tracy. But I want to start out with this question first, because this is a huge, crazy topic that, you see it all day long on Facebook. So, Patrick, and you got to be honest, no fibbing. Which one is worse right now when it comes to the traffic? Is it Port Wentworth or is it Pooler?
Ooh, so by the way, I just want to say thank you all for joining and watching. Hello, y'all, for coming. Adam, thank you for jumping on and joining the platform to come on here. Thank you for coming on and wanting to talk to the mayor. But I would have to say, of course, because it affects me the most, is Port Wentworth, right? Because, how do I get out of 21 and then I can't get out of 21? Still waiting on a traffic light to come in over there by where Moe's used to be. All kinds of stuff. So I would say Port Wentworth. But what about you? What do you say? And put it in the trap. Because Josh says it's crap.
Put it in the trap. Put it in the trap. It's definitely Pooler, hands down. I've been doing a lot of driving lately, and though there's like little spots in Port Wentworth that you're going to sit through the same light probably 3 or 4 times at those rough times, Pooler is almost like 24/7. It's just, there's just too much in one condensed spot that it's Pooler. You're crazy. It's Pooler.
Sunday at 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning is perfect in Pooler. You can drive, you can go wherever you want during that time. 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. You're welcome. Let's catch up on the chat a little here. Josh says hello. Adam, once again, we already said hi. Emily says Highway 21 1,000, hands down. I agree. Josh says Pooler traffic's worse. And she said, Brandon, stop.
21 is rough in the really early morning and then rush hour, but other than that, it's not as bad as Pooler is all the time.
Yeah, well, let's see what the mayor has to say. Let's bring the mayor on and see what she says. All right, let's bring on Tracy Saunders, the mayor of Port Wentworth.
You're right, Emily. You're right.
Hey, what's Emily right about?
Pooler has options, though.
We're getting options. We're getting there.
All right, so the question to you.
It's absolutely Pooler. It's absolutely Pooler.
Thank you.
Have you ever tried to get in and out of Walmart? I mean, come on.
I don't even know who thought it. Who was the brainchild behind that freaking mess?
Oh, let's not ask questions where you don't want the answers to.
Oh, people want the answers.
Hey, Adam, how are you? Hi, Emily. Yeah, I think that Pooler is worse, but you also have to take into consideration that Pooler is much bigger than we are as far as population, as far as square mileage. And they are still growing, and they, like us, are experiencing some of those growing pains, and they're getting ready to do some things there too. So
yeah, pretty lofty goals they got going on in the middle of Pooler right there.
Oh yeah. But honestly, I think they're in good hands. I think that Mayor Karen Williams over there has a pretty good hold on things and is doing a really good job and trying to guide Pooler through those growing pains.
I wonder how.
So,
Oh, wait, well, if you troll Facebook,
you
say
know,
something.
we all have Facebook trolls.
That's how you know
I
you've
think I
made
have a
it.
pretty big bridge myself, so I know that I
That's,
have plenty of trolls under that bridge, but that's okay. You know, people are entitled to their opinions.
that's how you know that you've made it when you have people trolling you,
Oh, well,
Yeah,
right?
I must
you
be.
made it.
Have you watched the Cat Williams performance where if you don't got haters, you got to get 10 more for the night? So you recently attended a GMA training. What
Yes.
what were the biggest takeaways from that, and how do they impact the way that Port Wentworth is being led right now?
Okay, so I want to backtrack on the question just a little bit. GMA is the Georgia Municipal Association,
Oh,
and
thank
they
you.
handle training for elected officials all over the state. A lot of people don't realize this, but when you run for office and if you get elected, you are required by state law to attend trainings. There is a newly elected officials training that you have to take within a certain time frame of being elected. And then there are other classes that you have like a year or 2 years to take. And then there are a bunch of optional classes that you can take to obtain certification levels that sort of prove that you're educated and prove that you're trying to learn and pay attention. So the GMA training that I went to was the newly elected officials training. And it was basically a crash course in all of the different pieces and parts of how a city works. Um, there were trainings on planning and zoning, on budgeting, law enforcement, fire and emergency response. What else was there? Wastewater treatment, um, trash and garbage removal. I realize that trash and garbage are two different things. Um, listen, laugh all you want. I didn't know that, and I'm an English teacher. Um,
Mm,
so basically, there were things on human resources, ethics, social media, public relations, all of the pieces of being an elected official. And it was 3 days, and it was from like 8 o'clock in the morning until about 6 o'clock at night for 3 days. Um, my brain felt like a big puddle of oatmeal by the time we were done, but it was great training. I took a ton of notes, and every decision I make at this point, everything that I participate in somehow ties into something that I learned or heard about at GMA. It's invaluable training, and I'm really glad that the state requires it.
That's awesome. How many participants were there with you during this one?
At the training that I was at, it was in Tifton, Georgia. Um, there were 270, I think.
Wow.
Yes, there were a lot. And see, they offer those trainings in two different places, Tifton or Athens. Apparently, Athens always fills up first, but I really enjoyed Tifton. I thought it was a nice little town.
okay.
The drive is a little scary in places because you were literally in the middle of nowhere, but it was a great experience. I met a lot of great people, made some contacts in different cities and municipalities, and I'm glad they require it. It's useful,
That
very
does sound
useful.
useful. Sounds like it's very useful. All right, let's check on the chat real quick. Adam says,
Okay.
hey. Emily says, only if she can put her foot up GA Power's rear. Savannah's food enthusiast Tony's here. Said, hey, folks, what's up? What's
Hey,
up, Tony?
Tony.
How you doing? Happy the bull is back. There you go.
You're
Yep.
welcome.
All right.
Yeah, we like
So
the cow.
we're going to try something new. And if you're in the chat, if you're in here, thank you so much. Please bring up some questions. Actually, I'm going to hit this one up real quick. So Emily says she
I
wants her
bet
light.
Emily lives in Rice Hope.
She wants her light.
I don't blame her. Every single time that I sit down and talk with Steve Davis, we talk probably once a day, if nothing else by texting, and we have a sit down face to face at minimum once every 2 weeks. Every single conversation I have with him, I ask about the traffic light, and unfortunately, it is out of our hands. and we just have to wait for Georgia Power to put it in. That's what we're waiting on, is Georgia Power. Everything
Georgia
on our end is done and ready to go.
Always waiting on Georgia Power.
Yep.
Unless you're a data center, then they just give you whatever you want. I'm just playing.
Or unless your bills.
Just joking. All right. So we're trying to do something new. So my little program we have to run this show has given me the ability to do polls.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and we've never used it before, so we want everybody to participate in the poll. And the way you participate is you put the number of your choice in the comments, and it will tally it up. So I'm going to put it on the screen, and we'll see how this works. I've never used it before. So the question is,
your answer, though. Once you vote, you vote. You can't change your answer.
Yeah, you can only vote once. Okay, what is your biggest concern about growth in Port Wentworth right now? Is it traffic, overdevelopment, data centers, or infrastructures, roads, schools, etc.? Hit it in the chat. Put your number that corresponds with your choice. I really appreciate it. So, Tracy, the next question is, okay, you mentioned that there was an economic development retreat that you had gotten to go to. It sounds pretty
Yes.
cool. So what are the top priorities that came out of that? And how do those decisions shape the future of Port Wentworth for the next few years?
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the fact that the city has a long-term plan and that we also have a plan for revitalization of the downtown area. Okay, hang on to that in one part of your brain. So the economic development retreat we did the week before Easter. We went to 4 different cities in 3 days, and we got to look at what they had done with their downtowns, how they had redeveloped them and revitalized them, how they paid for it, who got involved, who helped get it done. And it was a fantastic experience because those cities were anywhere, I would guess, between like 5 and 10 years ahead of us as far as that revitalization movement for their downtowns. And I've got to tell you, if we can do what those cities have done on a Port Wentworth size scale, it's going to be amazing. And in a couple of years, downtown is going to be back to some original glory, but with a future that pulls people in and makes it a better place for everybody to live and for people to want to be at that destination. The cities that we looked at they had restaurants, they had shops, they had walkability, there was nature, there were parks, all of the things that people want in a community. And they were fantastic. Woodstock, of the 4 places we went, was my favorite. It was on the small side. They had great old growth trees. Their parks blended art and outdoors and sports. And while we were there during the day, it was busy. There were people out and doing things. And this is a weekday. So it's not just the kind of thing that's used at night or on weekends. It's, people who take their lunch breaks and go get something to eat and then maybe hit a shop, but they can do that all on foot because they're nearby.
On their lunch break.
On their lunch break. So for me as the mayor, it gave me a chance to kind of see what the vision is as far as where we can take the downtown area and how we can get there. Gave me some great ideas for things that we don't have in Port Wentworth that we need to have in place in order to make those kinds of things happen.
Like what?
Like an arts council. Every single one of those cities had an active, thriving art community. And I'm not just talking, watercolor paintings here and there. I'm talking painting, sculpture, music, photography, theater. All of those elements came together in those downtown areas in every single instance. When we went into a city building, there was art and photography from people in the community. And that's something I wanted to do even before this trip, but it just kind of solidified, yes, this is the direction we need to go. There were musicians, they have free concerts. There is all kinds of artistic involvement in those cities. In fact, one of them, I think it was Marietta, had over 500 different events that were arts based last year.
Wow.
Think
So
about
you're
those
saying
numbers for a second.
You'll be, oh my gosh, you'll be calling SCAD out to Port Wentworth.
And you know what? I think that would be great to partner
What?
with SCAD. They have an artist community that thrives. And if we can recruit some of that to help us get started, to help us kind of find our way, I think that that could be a really good thing for us.
well,
Yeah.
not to mention maybe, I mean, you start with young artists. I mean, in middle
Mhm.
school, or high school. I mean, I don't
Exactly.
know, or, Groves or whatever.
Mhm.
You could start with that art. I think that would be a good way to go because Tony said, I'm not sure Port Wentworth has a large art community. And I tend to probably agree with him, but you don't know who's hidden in the shadows, who is in their
Exactly.
house, who's in their house that can paint something like or take good, cool pictures like that.
And the thing is it doesn't just have to be pictures and visual. There were artisans that made all kinds of cool stuff, from furniture to jewelry to dishes to kitchenware, quilting, sewing, embroidery. All of those things are art forms.
Yeah, right.
And those things together can help not just decorate, but enrich a community. And I don't see that Port Wentworth has done much of that. So that's something that I want to make sure that we're including as we move forward.
Okay. All right. Hello, y'all says Woodstock used to be a dump.
Not anymore.
It's pretty now.
That downtown is so great. Like, that is a place I would make a trip to just to go hang out.
Really?
I really enjoyed it. We had a really good time there. I spent probably 45 minutes just talking to random people about Woodstock and about what made them want to be there, what they liked about it, what they disliked about it. Everybody that was there lived there on purpose because they wanted to be a part of that community. And I think that that's a pretty admirable goal.
So,
And if you see me go like this, it's because I'm squinting to look at the chat.
So,
okay.
It's really small over there.
Will Port Wentworth adapt kind of like how Savannah is, where you can walk around with a drink?
That's I'm so glad that you brought that up, because that was in 2 of the towns that we went to. That was a rule. They had an area that was mapped out where you could walk around with an open container. And I'm not opposed to that.
Right.
I don't know how the rest of council feels about that, or the rest of the town would, but once that redevelopment takes place, I think that that's going to be something that would be on the table.
We might go out to Port Wentworth then. So I think I've seen a couple of things that you talked about, the Stand Up for America Day, which sounds like a major event. What can residents expect, and why is this event important for building the community here in Port Wentworth?
Okay, so Stand Up for America Day is the one day a year that Port Wentworth honors its own veterans. It started back during the Vietnam War era, when guys were coming home and basically being treated like crap. And there was a small group of people in Port Wentworth who wanted to celebrate them. And they got a bunch of neighborhood kids together. They decorated their bikes and they made themselves a parade.
Oh.
And that's how it started. And it's been going on ever since. Now, in its modern iteration, we have a full-blown parade. We have a festival at the festival site in downtown Port Wentworth. It's the corner of Cantyre and Barnsley.
Right here, if you look on the map, I'll just back it off.
By the old fire department in downtown Port Wentworth.
21, right? And then you come over here to, that's Barnsley.
That's Barnsley, and then Cantyre is the cross street.
And that's where it's at right there.
Yes. So there's going to be vendors, there's going to be food, there's going to be games. We have 3 different concerts that afternoon, ending with Edwin McCain and fireworks.
I can't wait for Edwin McCain. It's me and Lindsay.
I know.
Me and Lindsay's
so
wedding song is from Edwin. I'll be. That's our song.
Oh, you and your wife have to be there for that.
We gotta be there. It's on my calendar.
Yes,
We're
absolutely.
definitely gonna be there
It's
for
gonna
that.
be it's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna be outside all day walking around. I'm actually gonna have a little booth that I'll be popping in and out of if anybody wants to come and say hi or ask questions or anything. Um, my dad was a Vietnam vet, and a really big chunk of my childhood was spent hanging out at the VFW on Saturday mornings because that's where my dad was. And, we would go and they used to cook breakfast every weekend for the vets, and everybody would come in and eat breakfast, and then we'd all clean up together. I grew up with a massive respect for people who served. I was never able to because I have asthma. Um, but I know that my right to be who I am is based on other people who gave up their own rights to protect those. And saying thank you once a year is the absolute least that we can do for that population.
So I said
I love
thank you a few times a year.
that.
So are you a vet, Brandon?
No, but I've given my thanks to plenty of them.
Plenty of vets. I did not know that this was centered around the veterans. That's, I guess, is I didn't. I don't know if the message is not very well, and then it wasn't until I really realized that. That's so I
Yeah.
didn't know this was around the vets. So that's cool. So if you're a vet, go out there.
Mhm.
I am a vet, Tony, of course. I want to go there to see Edwin McCain, so I'm going to definitely be there.
You should
Tony
definitely
also,
look up the opening act, one of the opening acts too. I listened to him last night, Derek Flowers. I was not expecting the music that came out of this man's mouth.
Derek.
Why does he sound familiar?
He is an African American country singer,
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
and his music is great. I mean, that's not the part that surprised me. Just there are so few Black members of the country music genre that I was thinking I was going to get like R&B or something when I pulled him up, but no, that is solid country.
There's quite a
Wow.
few now, and they're killing it too.
Yeah, I
Killing it.
liked it. I'm gonna he's got a few of his songs added to my playlist.
So is it
But
from 3 to 8? What is the time of this event? Because I saw on one of the flyers says 3 o'clock. Is it 3? What
that's
time
when
does
the
it start?
music starts.
At 3.
Yes. 3 to 5,
Okay.
5 to 7, 7 to 9. And then
And then fireworks after that.
and then fireworks. But the parade is at 10. And I'm gonna have to look that up in a second just to make sure, because I know I have to be there at 7:30. But
Okay.
Yikes.
yeah, tell me about it.
Where's the parade path?
Hang on a second. I know that they have shared it on the city Facebook page. Hang
Well,
on,
we
let me-
don't have to.
Okay, I'll make sure that I put that on my Facebook page just to make sure that everybody sees it. But it is through the old downtown part.
Okay. So another thing people are really excited about is Anchor Park, obviously. Which
Oh yeah,
after we went and saw it while it was still in construction, it looked like it was going to be cool.
it's
So
going to be amazing.
yeah, can you give us a kind of update on where things stand right now and what the
Yeah.
timeline looks like moving forward?
So right now they are actively getting the parking lots poured and I don't know what they call it. Poured, filled, asphalted, whatever it is they do to those things to make them so they
Perfect.
don't throw gravel everywhere. That's happening right now.
Okay.
And it's been a long day and a long couple of weeks.
I love
Um,
that.
so the parking lots are being done now, which is great because that means that they'll be done in time for our first concert and for our first tournament, which both of which have already been scheduled. Our first concert is Billy Currington. That's
Do
Brandon,
you
you
know
a
that
fan?
person?
Yeah. How do you not? It's a country
I don't.
singer. No, you don't listen to country like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even I knew who Billy Currington was, and I'm not really
Look,
modern
I went
country
to
music.
Nashville and I had a good time. I was listening to just nothing but country. So I mean, I'm not against it. I just
You just don't know the artists.
I don't even know a channel on my radio to get to country. So I'm just saying, like,
I'm kind of the same way. Like, I will listen to a song and like it, but have no clue who sings it, and then find out later. It's like, oh, that's who sang that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you leave it.
We have our first tournament scheduled. It's a youth hockey tournament that is bringing 32 teams to Port Wentworth.
Youth?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Kids running
And here's
wild.
the cool part. Here is the cool part. You know, everybody can talk. I'm not going to say complains. People have talked about how many hotels and things that we have. They're guesstimating that about 700 hotel rooms will be full because of that tournament.
700. Wow.
So what do you think about the traffic then?
Listen, you don't yuck our yum.
Well, Debbie wanted me to ask. She didn't know if we missed it, and we'll come back to Anchor Park because I'm really excited about it. But Debbie wanted me to ask. I missed the first part here. Did you ask about the apartment truck traffic on 21?
Okay, so Debbie, I saw your question on Facebook, and I got an answer for the truck traffic part, but not the apartment complex part. I got to wait until tomorrow for that part because we ran out of time, and there was another thing that came up. So there is a state law that says that that semi trucks have to stay in the right-hand lane unless they are passing someone or getting ready to turn left. The difficulty with enforcing that is determining the intent of the driver at the time. You know, if a truck pulls over into the left lane, is it because they're getting ready to turn left? Is it because they're passing somebody? Or is it because they just want to stay in the left lane? So I don't think that it's a lack of enforcement. I think that it's because the Georgia law has some nuances in it that a lot of places don't have. And you have to be real clear when you pull somebody over that you're pulling them over because they wouldn't get out of the left lane. Does that make sense?
Citizen's arrest. Put your phone out and go like this with the light and be like, I'm pulling you over.
I don't think it works that way, Brandon.
Yeah, and it's just frustrating. I agree with Debbie on this one. Like, it's just like, and of course, like you said, you can't judge intent, right? But they're not listening to that law. There's no way in hell that
I didn't even know it was a law here. I knew in South Carolina it is, but I didn't know here it was too.
Yeah. Well, and I didn't either until Debbie asked the question because I didn't know if it was a city ordinance or if it was a state thing, but it is a state law. And ours has that coverage in it for trucks that are trying to turn left or that are passing somebody, which makes sense because, you know, some trucks are super slow. And I'm one of those drivers that does not like to get stuck behind a super slow vehicle. And I'm the kind of person that will definitely stay in the left lane so I don't have to deal with the people in the right lane. So
that's what I'm saying. The people in the right lane are coming in the left lane and messing everybody in the left lane up. That's the whole point. Like, you're not supposed to be in the left lane. I'm with you, Debbie. You should have
I would hit a trash can
road. Just a semi truck road.
Just a truck lane.
Just truck lane just for them. They can do whatever they want over there. Just do
well,
whatever
and I think
they want.
Unfortunately, we can't tell 50,000 people from Effingham to stay home. And, you know, because
make them their own road to go around.
This sounds worse than I intended to, but the only way I can describe it is that Port Wentworth is a cut through for people from Effingham getting to Savannah. When that parkway opens, the Effingham Parkway that's going to connect to Benton Boulevard, that will take some of the traffic off of 21, which will definitely help. But we can't tell Effingham County to stay home.
COVID.
Can the city make their own traffic law? We can, but it would require an extensive legal review, which I found out today after we started talking about the downtown area and people wanting to put more street signs. They want to make it so that people can't cut through their neighborhoods. Do we have an update? I need to stop reading the chat or I'm going to get totally distracted.
Yeah, just I'll ask you the questions for the chat. You don't have to read.
There you go. That'll help. Okay.
All
right. And I totally forget where I was now.
So they're asking if we can make our own traffic law. You were answering that, then you got distracted by the next question.
Yes, we can make our own traffic laws, but I don't know enough about that to speak intelligently. That's a city attorney question and a police chief question. I
Okay.
can follow up on it if you would like.
Fair enough. All right. Fair enough. Okay. Then Adam said, have we thought about making our section of 21 a toll road? I don't have we thought about making this a toll road there, Tracy? I highly doubt it, right?
That has never even crossed my mind.
What?
I don't know what the rules are on that, to be
I don't
honest.
know that you can do that.
I don't know how you would turn a regular road into a toll road.
Oh, they did it.
definitely
They've
gotta
done
make
it
it
all
better.
over the place. In Macon or in Atlanta, it's like all of a sudden I'm on a toll road. Like, what the hell just happened?
We went when I took my son to Tampa for a roller derby event. We got home and I started getting bills from the state of Florida for being on a toll road. It's like I didn't even know I was on a toll road.
Exactly. Like, what the hell? You didn't tell me. And then all of a sudden I'm on
Right?
it. Congratulations, you're on the toll road. And then
Yep.
congratulations, here's your $3 bill.
Yep.
Yeah, and forget that. You can't turn around because you've already been on the road, so you still owe us money.
Yeah,
Mhm.
express lane, Tony. Exactly. And then Adam said all over in Florida, Atlanta. Yep, exactly. Macon is starting to get
The
that way too. I
HOV
didn't even know I was
lanes.
going in Macon on the way through, like crazy.
And
Okay,
Virginia
and then
was-
Tony asked, "Do we have an update on that road? That road?"
I'm
Very
guessing he's talking about
descriptive,
Effingham
Tony.
Parkway. I don't, but I will add that to my list of things to look into.
Okay.
Actually, I need to find a pen. I'm at my friend's house because my house is never quiet enough to
Gotcha.
do stuff like this. Hang on. Let me grab a post-it note over here. Look, I have 3 grandkids and 3 teenagers at my house. So you tell me when it's going to be quiet.
No, I
They're all
totally
asleep and
understand.
never.
Totally get
Alright.
it. Totally. Yes. Thank
Update.
you, Tony. The Effingham Parkway.
Effingham.
He was, yeah.
Okay.
You know,
Got it written
Tracy, you
down.
can always rewatch this again later if you want to.
No, because I hate the sound of my own voice.
Oh, okay. I got you. I understand. Me too. That's why I watch myself all the time. Here we go. All right. So, what are some of the key topics residents should be paying attention to during upcoming council meetings, and how can they stay involved or stay informed?
So to stay informed is super easy. Pay attention to the website. All of the information packets that city council gets, along with the agendas and the information, is all posted. And it's usually posted. We try to get it done the week before, but it's usually like the Friday or the Monday before a city council meeting. Now, the big deal that's coming up in May is going to be budgeting. We're going to have 3 hearings between May and June in order to get the budget approved for next year. And they are public hearings where you can come in and look at the budget. You can stand up and speak, say your piece, offer advice, criticism, whatever it is you want to say. So that's definitely something that people need to pay attention to. One of the things I learned at GMA, and I hadn't really thought about before, but it makes total sense, is that your budget is the single most important piece of policy that you will handle as a council. That's a public trust. That's you being responsible with other people's money. And that's a huge thing. So
You
that's
said when are you guys going to start talking about that? Are you're putting that on the
in May.
website for scheduling?
In May.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
well,
those dates should be brought up pretty close, or not pretty close. They should be brought up pretty soon.
definitely something I definitely want to be there for.
Absolutely.
For sure. Thomas Barbie says, let's just recap a little bit. Finally, a great mayor of Port Wentworth.
Thank you.
And then, so that was, and then he said Anchor Park, August 28th for the first youth hockey thing. Okay.
Yep. 32 teams, y'all.
That's
32 teams.
That's some revenue.
That's
Cha-ching,
huge.
cha-ching. Maybe that'll fix the infrastructure.
That. Boy, you are being awful.
He's ornery tonight.
He is, man. He's
ornery.
zesty.
Before we keep going, I just want to close up the poll because I feel like everybody is closing it down. So, what is your biggest concern about growth in Port Wentworth right now? It's number 1 is at 57% traffic. Yep. Nobody cares about overdevelopment, so that's fine. Data centers, only 29% of the people care about that. And then infrastructure and roads got 14%. All right. Thank you, everybody, for participating in that poll. We got
That's
another
nifty.
poll. We got another one.
Okay,
Don't even worry about it.
before we do the other poll, can we talk a little bit more about traffic?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, so downtown people, Old Port Wentworth people, this is for you. Starting at the end of May, there is going to be a huge publicity push with lots of signage, lots of information, lots of advertising going out. At that point, we are going to start educating people about where trucks are allowed to be. And the emphasis on that is not in downtown. We can't fully eliminate truck traffic downtown because there is a business at the end of Crossgate that relies on semi trucks. But as of when enforcement starts in July, those trucks will be the only ones that will be allowed on Crossgate. Those trucks that are coming and going to that facility. Truck traffic will be routed on Grange Road and on Bonnie Bridge Road. So we are making a big push to get the semi traffic out of downtown. And what's going to happen is May is going to be information and education. June is going to be warnings, and July will be full on ticketing. So if you're used to having trucks that get lost and turned around in your neighborhood, hopefully by the middle of July, that will be a thing of the past.
So you're saying on this 21, 25, they're going to reroute everybody to 21, right?
Yes.
And then
No
they're gonna have to go around.
trucks will be allowed on 25 through downtown.
All right. So there'll be a turn up here on Duce, get to 21, have to drive down 21, and then come back through Grange Road, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. There you
And
go.
the only way that trucks will be able to get to 17 will be off of Bonnie Bridge because they're not allowed on 25 anymore, starting in May when they start the education thing.
Oh,
Like I
got you right
said,
there. Okay.
education in May, warnings in June, tickets in July. That was the process that I was told today. So
Ample time to learn the rules.
yes. And bonus, they are working on communicating with the major map companies like Google and Apple and stuff to make sure that those maps are updated as well.
Oh, good.
Oh, great.
Yes. Yes. So
Even
hopefully that will bring some relief to those downtown areas, especially with 95 construction being started and people trying to find a quicker way through. At least the semis and the big rigs won't be part of it.
Thank God.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit earlier, before everybody came on, you mentioned something about the Citizens Input Council, which
Yes.
sounds like a great opportunity for residents to be heard. Can you explain how that kind of works and how someone can get involved if they wanted to, hope that their voice gets counted?
Absolutely. So Lisa Austin Cohn, one of the city council members, started the Citizens Input Council, I think about 2 years ago at this point. And it was designed as a place for citizens to come in and kind of speak their mind about things that were going on. And it evolved into an organization that we would basically take a problem and work it from start to finish. And it allowed us to improve youth programming in the city. That was the first one that we tackled. That organization is actually how I got started with local politics. Miss Cohn is one of my neighbors, and she recruited me to participate in it. And then, yada, 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 here we are. Sorry, Seinfeld joke. The whole purpose of the organization is to get people involved and to get people involved in not just complaining about problems, but actually putting boots on the ground to solve them. That council was put on hold for a couple of months and is starting back up in May. And it will meet the Friday after the city council meeting. So it'll be the third Friday of every month. And I would definitely encourage people to get involved in that, especially if you want to be a part of the people that are making a difference.
Can you real quick, talking about that, what did you, as part of this council, what did you guys tackle when you were on the council?
So the first thing that we tackled was youth programming. The programming at the time really focused on kids 10 and under, and there wasn't a whole lot for teenagers or adults. And so we looked at what teenagers and adults would like to see in programming and what they might want to do. We did a survey and took those results, and now we have things like Friday night skate nights for teenagers. They had a silent rave one night. There is pickleball and volleyball. There's a walking club. There's a line dance group now. So
Oh,
yeah, there's all kinds of really great things happening in our recreation department. And a lot of that started out in the Citizens Input Council.
I love line
oh.
dance.
Well,
Yeah,
that's really
Brandon, I would like to challenge you to come to a line dance class.
I'll be teaching the class. when?
If you,
How do you? Where do you find this? Like, if I wanted to
it's
go,
on the city website and on the
okay,
city Facebook pages.
because I really do like line dancing and skating.
I would totally come line dance with you.
It's my mom taught me how to do all of them.
Yeah, I'm not
It was
very
a
good
long
at them,
time
but I
ago.
like doing them.
It only takes a
It's
couple
fun,
right.
but I'm not very good at them.
I have a friend who's hardcore into it, so she had me go out a couple of times to Richmond Hill. Whew, sweat. I sweated out my blowout for sure. So much fun.
That's funny.
all right. So I have not line danced, but
You
I
should
have
absolutely
before.
come.
I have before, obviously, like everybody has, but as minimal as you could possibly. I think the Macarena was the only last dance I actually knew.
Hey,
Yeah,
Macarena.
see.
Okay.
So yeah, it's the
Is
easy
that
one.
considered a line dance?
I don't
I think
know.
so. I mean, in my mind, anyway. All right.
So what do you
So
think, chat? Is the Macarena a line dance? Quick
is the
poll.
Macarena? I mean, I think so because you're turning. Everybody's just staying in one spot. I don't know.
Heard through the grapevine.
That's the one too. Yeah, there you go. All right. So when we were talking about earlier, you had some upcoming meetings that you're kind of excited about. So can you share what those are about and how they tie to the overall priorities of the city?
Yes, I can definitely do that. So on Monday, April 27th and Monday, May 4th, I'm having two different meetings. On April 27th is basically a recruiting and organizing session to get people involved in things like starting an arts council, looking at partnering with Savannah Tree Foundation or creating our own foundation. We'd like to do some kind of a history organization. Art Lisa Cohn and I have talked extensively about historic tourism in Port Wentworth and how that could become a thing. We have a lot of really great history here, and it's never really been at the forefront of anything the city's done. And we would like to make that something to do in Port Wentworth and not just something that, oh yeah, that they've got this cool building and this farm that's been there for a really long time. We have historic locations here and we want to showcase them. So one of the things that I learned in that economic development trip is how important having those outside councils are to having really good development and revitalization in your city. If we want to have art in our community, if we want to be a musically inclusive community, if we want to showcase our history, save our trees, and rebuild the ones that have been taken away from us, we need organizations to do that. Now, as much as I would love to tackle all of those problems, I am but one person. And
Right.
I do have to sleep occasionally. And
We can
it's
sleep over
just
again.
better. There's that old saying that many hands make light work. The more people are involved in a community, the more invested they are in it. And those kinds of organizations and that kind of activity are what helps build community in different ways. We build sports community around, basketball, soccer, baseball, pickleball, volleyball, all of that stuff. We need to build community around the history of our city. We need to build community around arts and music. And all of those things together help build the greater community. So, my first meeting is to recruit people who are interested in those things and who want to be involved in helping make those things happen for our city. My second meeting is basically hey, I want to talk to the mayor night. and we're going to hang out at the Senior Citizen Center, have some mingling time, and then we're just going to kind of sit down and I'm going to listen to people talk. If they have direct questions for me, I will do my best to answer them. If I don't have an answer, then I will do what I did over here and write it down so that I can research it and follow up. So those are both on Mondays. Monday, April 27th is at City Hall at 7 o'clock. And then Monday, May 4th, the Meet with the Mayor night is going to be at the Senior Citizen Center downtown at 7 p.m.
Okay. You'll be done just in time to get on our show. I'm just playing.
I don't think we'll be done in time because I am anticipating a very busy evening. But if you would like to come and do a live remote, you are more than welcome to.
I would love to do that. I don't know how practical that is. The internet connection's got to be stable AF.
Yeah, I understand that.
That's a really good idea, though, because I feel like, especially right now with everything going on, the one thing we are lacking hard is community. So I think that's really great to bring that kind of feeling back, because help thy neighbor has never seemed so lost as it has become these days.
I agree. We joked earlier about trolls and bridges and things, but I make it a point specifically to reach out to those people. And I actually invited several of them personally. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I also invited some of those people that are a little bit harder on Facebook on the show, and they haven't come. So it's unfortunate. I wish they would come. As long as it, like I said, I don't mind anybody coming and chatting and any question. I'm totally cool as long as it's not vulgar. And the one time we had people that calling each other names, that was not good. But
and see, I have a couple of Facebook rules or social media rules that I have set up for myself. And one of them is, if you're involved in name calling, I'm not going to answer questions or respond to comments regardless. I will read all the comments, but unless there is something that I can add constructively, I won't comment. And I will do my best to answer any questions as long as it's not surrounded by meanness or rudeness. So
I'm not doing name calling. That's not gonna. You're not gonna get. There's been times where I've been so angry at some stuff that I wanted to, go off and respond, but I was like, let me just think about it a second. Let's breathe. I don't know them. I don't really know them, so it doesn't really bother me. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So.
I keep in mind how I was raised and that I want to continue to be me and to live by the values that I have and that I know are important. And I'm not going to let somebody drag me out of that. How other people behave is on them. How I behave is on me.
Exactly. No doubt. I totally agree with you.
You can't control crazy. So the upcoming budget.
Yes.
As you prepare for the upcoming budget, what are some of the main areas of focus, and how are you balancing the growth with maintaining quality of life for the residents?
So one of the things that I am trying to be very honest and upfront about is that I absolutely am learning. I have only been mayor since January. I'm an English teacher by trade. I took Accounting 101 back in 1991, I think it was, maybe 92, but it was a long time ago. And so I am learning all of this as we go. And so the best thing that I can do for accountability is ask 8 million questions. And I will continue to do that for my own benefit, but also for the benefit of people like me who don't really know how these budgets are built and created and don't understand how all of the different accounts are connected. I really want to make sure that I have a good understanding of what's happening before I take information to somebody else. So that's the first part of being accountable for me, is making sure that I'm asking questions and that I'm learning and that I'm being honest about where those questions are coming from. The second part of that is making sure that our budget reflects our values as a community. We absolutely have needs that need to be met in the upcoming couple of years before we can do a whole lot of downtown revitalization. We have to make sure that the sewage systems and the water systems and the roads are where they need to be. Because without those things in place, there's no point in revitalizing. There's no point in redeveloping. So the first thing I think that has to be a priority is making sure that downtown infrastructure is taken care of. And I know that there are plans that are in place. I have definitely learned in my limited experience thus far that government moves on its own timeline, and that it is a far slower beast than any of us can possibly fathom until they have to deal with it up close and personally. That is the thing that drives me the craziest. I was actually talking with Steve Davis about this today. I am very much an impatient human being. If I have a question, I'm going to ask it and I want the answer. Don't pussyfoot around. Don't make me wait. Just give me the information. Okay, now I have the information. Let's fix the problem. That's just how I have always been. That's not how government works.
Right.
And so part of that balancing growth with quality of life for the residents is staying engaged in the process when I really want to just throw the paperwork in the trash and kind of stomp off in a huff because it's not working fast enough. If that makes sense.
Oh no, I was in a job position one time where I was told that it's like we're on a football field. If you can move the ball 1 yard, then you've done your job. I'm like, in a year? And they're like, yeah, in a year. I'm like, what the heck kind of job did I just get myself into? We're working with the Saudi Arabians. They have a lot of prayer requirements. They got a lot of other requirements. And then, of course, it's hot as hell over there. So there's days where they just can't work outside when they're fasting and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, things move a little bit slower in Saudi Arabia. But that was kind of like, I can do 1 yard in a year, I'm sure, then you realize it's a lot harder than you think because there's, all those hurdles you're talking about. So,
yes. And that takes us back to that traffic light outside of Rice Hope. We did our due diligence. We did everything we were supposed to do. And now it's waiting on somebody else to finish up whatever it is they're doing in order to do it. And it doesn't matter how many times we call, how many times we email. They're going to do things on their own schedule. Hang on, that's my daughter calling me. They're going to do things on their own schedule, regardless of what we want done and how fast we want it done. And the things that people need to understand about how that applies to the downtown area is that we're looking at having to repair not all, we're having to repair huge chunks of road and huge chunks of piping. And that means tearing up road.
Like ditches and like even the canals need work, right?
Yes.
So there's a lot of things that need to be fixed.
Yeah.
But hurry up and wait.
Man. I think I locked the dog in my bedroom when I left the house.
Oh my goodness.
That's what he's messaging me about. No, I mean, we're almost done anyway. It's 8:53, so and I'm not very far from home.
Okay.
But in order to make those things happen, you have to have time and patience, but you also have to have millions of dollars. And, finding funding for those things is part of that process of balancing growth and maintaining quality of life, because we want to have the financial cushion in place that we have now for the future to come.
Right.
So it is a huge balancing act.
Gotcha. I totally agree. Okay, so Debbie said, I think there is a little of the community feeling is lost because they feel like no matter what the community wants, the council doesn't take the advice. They tend to talk down to residents. I'm not speaking about the mayor. So that's just the way she feels like the council doesn't listen, or they speak down, or don't do what they say they're going to do. So that's coming from Debbie. So before we let you go,
okay,
unless you want to respond to that.
What I will say is that I'm not afraid to use the gavel. And if somebody is not behaving in a way that is professional and respectful in a meeting that I'm in charge of, I will handle it. And I don't care which side of the microphone or the dais that person is sitting on. I believe in treating people with respect and with basic human dignity. And if I see that not happening, then that's something that I am supposed to handle as the person running the meeting. As far as not listening to the residents, I understand where that comes from. Up until December 31st, I was one of those residents. The thing that a lot of people don't understand is that some of those council votes that you don't think that you're being heard on, you are, but there are other issues in play that maybe haven't been either explained clearly or explained publicly. You know, Patrick and I have talked about this one a lot, is that, and I'm going to use the hot pink shed example again. If I want to build a hot pink shed on my property, I can do that because it's my property. My next door neighbor may hate the color hot pink and does not want me to have a hot pink shed, but on my property, I can do that because it's my property. And that's what a lot of the development issues come down to. Those people own those properties, and within the limits of the law can pretty much do what they want with them. And so even with citizen input, if the council doesn't vote according to the law, the city gets sued. And those lawsuits can cost a lot of money, and they will lose them eventually if they're not following the law. And there's a whole lot more that goes into that than I have time to cover right now. But if you want to talk about that one-on-one, please come out to my meeting on May 4th and we will sit down and talk about it.
It's a little frustrating. Because,
I know it is.
And I think, well, I just want to say this though, but like I feel like, and where I can't speak for all the residents, so I'm going to speak for myself, but I think a lot would agree that where does the line that the investors are more important than the thousands of residents that are around the projects that they're developing? Like, where is the line that they can do whatever industry they want, regardless of how many people speak out against it? That's what I don't like. And this is where I think we're talking about, not listening to the people. Is like, people want change, but then when people say they're going to make change and they don't do it, people start getting a little frustrated. I mean, can you understand that?
I can tell you exactly where that line is. The line is where your zoning ordinance says it is.
Okay. I get it, but we can also change the zoning ordinances to
I feel like Brandon's
stop these things, right?
Yes, but whatever zoning ordinance is in place at the time that development wants to happen is the ordinance that they are held accountable to.
I know, I understand that, but when the citizens speak to have something changed, that everybody, and there's nothing stopping nobody from changing it right now. And we're not changing.
I feel like you and I know exactly what we're talking about here.
Yes.
But people quit talking about it. Like in December, everybody shut up about it.
I have been talking about it every single week.
You have.
Is
Okay. Wow. I'm digging a hole here. How many people have spoken at City Council since then about that issue?
Oh, that's all it takes? Because I can get that to happen.
I'm just saying, okay, so there's an expression, shut up, Brandon. There's an expression that you have to inspect what you expect. So if you expect something to happen, you have to inspect it. You have to follow up on it. And, it was like after that happened, everybody just kind of stopped. And I'm saying that the public voice is
we're going to stop pussyfooting. We're going to stop pussyfooting around this, okay? We're talking about data centers here. I talked Sean Randall-Weiler. I talked to Mark Stevens. I've talked to you. I've sent everybody on the council an email of the ordinance that needs to be changed. I was told that if the ordinance was good, that they would look at it and then they would make changes. That's what I was told.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm just wondering. And if it's just coming to the councils every month and bringing it up as the action that must be taken, then I guess That's what I got to do.
I honestly don't know what the holdup on that is. And like I said at the beginning when you and I were talking, I texted the city attorney to find out what the holdup was. I have not heard back from him, but believe me, I will be following up tomorrow to find out what the situation is with that.
I mean, I
But
agree that the
in
citizens got to
general,
come out, but I mean,
listen,
also the
in
city
general,
council's got to have good faith.
in general, I believe that the more that people speak up, the more things change.
Okay.
That's what I believe as a person.
Okay.
And I have always believed that if you believe strongly in something, you have to stand up for it. You have to speak up for it. You
Not,
know,
not just sit on Facebook and
yeah.
not
And
people
you know,
forward.
with my family being the way it is, I've had to speak up many, many times in defense of my family because
Gotcha.
we don't look alike. I don't know if anybody on here knows this or not, but you have to speak up for what you believe in. And if this is something that people feel strongly about, then they need to keep speaking up about it. If it's something that they're willing to live with, if we get a data center and that comes to fruition, then they can let it lie. It depends on what's important to people.
Okay. No, it's fair enough. I mean, it's fair enough. I didn't think we are going to have to go that route. I thought that we had already had the discussions, and I'd hoped that the discussions we had would lead to change. But if we got to show up every 1 month, I guess that's what we got to do, and that's fine. I'm totally down with that.
It doesn't have to be to talk about it, right?
Say what?
It doesn't
Okay,
have to
so
be
Adam, I don't. Yes, but that would only apply to county property and property that's in unincorporated Chatham County. For property that's in the city of Port Wentworth, you have to go through city council. Just like if it's in the city of Pooler, you'd have to go through the city of Pooler.
Okay.
Good
No,
luck.
no, I appreciate it.
But
I
I will listen. I'm sorry to interrupt. I will follow
No.
up with Mr. Robichaux tomorrow and find out kind of where that ordinance changes.
I want you to know, Tracy, I have no frustration with you.
I have
I
none
have
with you.
frustration with the situation.
Mhm.
And that's all it is. There's nothing, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate everybody coming on and talking, giving your comments and everything like that. And Tracy, before we let you go, I want to ask you one more question.
Uh-oh.
Is there anything that we didn't ask you that you wanted to talk about?
Oh gosh. We covered a whole lot tonight.
Yeah.
No, I think we covered it.
Oh,
I just really
all right.
want, you know what? I am going to say this since you gave me the platform. I need for people to remember on the other side of the keyboard and on the other side of the screen are people. I might be the mayor, but I am just as much a human being as everybody else. And human decency matters. And that's all.
No, that's true. Absolutely.
So
I mean,
eloquently said.
absolutely. Like, be nice on
Thank
Facebook,
you.
guys. Instagram, X.
Listen, we can disagree
Exactly.
and do it in a way that is respectful and responsible. We don't have to resort to name calling.
This used to be normal. You just have conversations, you disagree, you walk away, and everything
Exactly.
was friends and everything was cool. You came back, everything was fine. But now you either got to be for or against. I don't play that game. And for anybody that watches this, I bring people on here. We're gonna have
Mhm.
Brian Montgomery next week coming on, Republican candidate for the Buddy Carter seat. You know what I'm saying? And we're probably not going to agree on a lot of stuff, but we're going to have a conversation because that's what grown-ups do. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And we have this platform so you can have these conversations with them. But of course, like I said, just being respectful regardless of, the views, because we all got to work together. We're on the same team, Tracy.
Exactly. We're on Team Port Wentworth. We may not agree on how to coach the game, but we're all here playing for the same team.
Exactly. This is a team sport. United States of America, United of Port Wentworth. Let's all get together. Like I said, we don't agree. Let's get together. I love the opportunity to do this input, the citizens council. Come out and do that. Volunteer with the mayor in one of these art councils or history councils. Come on out and participate. The Stand Up for America Day, right? Or wait, Stand Up America Day. What is it?
Stand Up for America Day.
Stand Up for America Day. Come out to all the Port Wentworth stuff. Should be super fun.
Please
and Tracy,
come out. It'll be a good time. It'll be fun.
Yeah, we can make those.
People have forgotten how to have fun.
Let's have
fun
and be
fun. It's
well.
You know what? If that's what makes people happy, let them do it. Like I said, I have 3 rules. I will answer direct questions. I will read all of the comments and respond to those that I feel like I can add to, and I'm not going to engage with people who are just being flat rude and disrespectful.
Love it. All right, Tracy. Well, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And I got to go let my dog out. I'll talk to you guys later.
Your dog out. All right. I'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, man. Great conversation. Learned a lot.
There's a lot.
Yeah. And she's always, I mean, I love that she is transparent and she's willing to answer questions and she's willing to come on and be on Facebook. And I agree with her. I mean, the people on Facebook can be just downright rude.
For what?
I don't know.
What are you accomplishing?
I don't know.
What happened to you? More bees with honey or something?
Yeah, that's the one. But I would say if you guys are watching still, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate this show. Cannot exist without you guys. So please hit the like. Please share with your friends and family. If they live in Port Wentworth, they want to know what's going on. Perfect thing to share with them. Don't miss out. Next week, we have Brian Montgomery on the Market Sip next Monday night. He is running for Buddy Carter's seat. So you definitely don't want to miss it. Come with your questions. Ready to rock and roll. Brandon, you got anything else that's going on that people need to know about?
I don't right now. I have three listings that need to get sold. So if you're looking for something in Rincon or Pembroke, I got them. You even got one.
Are you doing an open house this weekend?
I'm working on it. I'm probably going to do Duke's Way and Westwood one Saturday, one Sunday. I just
haven't decided yet. Okay. Well, we didn't put it out yet. We're not sure. Like I said, I want to say thank you guys for commenting, all that stuff, and joining us. You don't want to miss other parts of the channel. So if you saw down below, we got the housing market stats. We just did the stats video this morning. Check that out, talking about Savannah and all that stuff. Also, I have a food blog. I also have if you want to get a loan for a home, I have lenders on my channel talking about what a FHA loan is, what a VA loan is. Got insurance agents talking about what insurance you need, what is flood insurance. I got all that good information on other channels, other parts of the channel. So definitely check it out. I want to say thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.